Hello, welcome to the video. I am so excited. This is the last video of 2024, which is actually pretty crazy. But of course we're gonna go through every single book I read in 2024. It's one of my favorite videos to make in the whole year. I've in the past done my stats, my storygraph stats separate, but I think I might just kind of put them together this video just so it's not two separate things and just kind of here's what I read, here's what I rated it. I feel like we should just hit with some facts. I'm looking at my phone because I'm looking at literally my storygraph wrap up. I mean, it's not completely done. I'm filming this on the 30th, so I still have a little bit of time, but honestly I don't think I'm gonna read another book in that time, or if I do, it's gonna be one book. So I was just I'm just gonna film this anyways. So far I have met my goal. I put a goal of 55 books just because I read I think 50 last year, so I read 77 this year, so I exceeded it. I did 140% of my goal. So I read 77 books. I read 25,148 pages, and then my average time to finish a book is 3 days, which I always like seeing that. My top moods were very much emotional, is my really big one. Funny, lighthearted, hopeful, and then dark, I would say, are my top 5. Emotional, lighthearted, funny, hopeful, and dark were my top 5. My pace, medium pace was my biggest, fast pace was my next, and then slow with only 10%. Page numbers, my biggest was 300 to 499 pages, which was 72% of my books. Less than 300 was 27% of my books, and then 500 plus was only 1%. I don't even know what book that was. Oh, random. Rule Breakers Fall Hardest. That was 552 pages. The more you know. LOL, I read 99% fiction and 1% nonfiction. Again, what even? Oh no, I clicked on the wrong one. Oh, yeah, I read Reality Check, Making the Best of the Situation, which is the memoir of Mike the Situation from Jersey Shore. My top genres were romance, duh, contemporary, sports, young adult, and LGBTQIA+. And then I also had music, memoir, and crime that were included on mine, but it looks like they had literally one each, nothing literally even crazy. Format, I had 96% digital and then only 4% print. That makes sense to me just because I really don't read physical books that much. I read basically everything on my Kindle except when I'm on vacation is the one exception. I don't really like my Kindle on the beach and pools and things like that. And also well, I was gonna say packing, but that actually makes less sense because a Kindle is nothing, and then books are heavy and take up space. Anyways, I usually only read physical books on vacation, so that's where that 4% came in. Or if I have a book that I really want to read and it's on, I only have the physical copy. My most read authors, interesting, Kay Bromberg. Yes, I knew that. I found her this year. I never had read any of her books before. I love her books. I've read 2 series now of her books, so that makes sense to me. Megan Quinn, I read one of her series, but there were 7 or 8 books in that series, so that makes sense to me. Cecily Von, oh yeah, I don't even know how to, wait, her whole name's not there. Yes, Cecily Von Zwegser. I have some books of hers. A. Zavarelli, I've been reading a mafia romance series here on the tail end of the year, and I think that also has 6 books in it. Kandi Steiner, I feel I've always loved her. Kate Olivia. What are Kate Olivia's books? Oh, okay, I remember that. Yeah, I read a series of hers. I did not really like it. That's why I didn't remember her name. Runnix, yeah. LJ Shen, yeah. Grace Reilly, Willow Aster, all those make sense. It's kind of funny which ones they bring out because Kay Bromberg, the ones on the top make sense to me, but the ones at the bottom I'm I feel I read a lot of authors 2 or 3 books, just any series puts them on the list. I don't know. All my books were in English. Yes, I know no other languages. There's a chart of my books and my pages. My highest month was definitely January, or maybe that's February. And then definitely my lowest time was the summer of between May and July. I had nothing. So that's fun. So I guess that's June if I can read things correctly. My average rating of books, I had 77 reviews. I reviewed every book, was 2.91, which is pretty bad for me. I feel I'm pretty nice in my reviews, so that's kind of disappointing. I had 5 1 stars, I had like 4 1.5 stars. I had 10 2 stars. I had 5 2.5 stars. I had 16 3 stars. I had 9 3.5 stars. I had 17 3.75 stars and 4 oh my god, 4 stars. And then they don't have 5 stars on here, but I think I have like 2 or 3 5 stars. So that's all my stats of my things for this year of 2024. I'm not really surprised by any of it. I am kind of surprised about the rating actually, because I feel like that's kind of low. I know I had some like bad series, and I feel like I had a lot of 3s, which I guess this is basically a 3, so it kind of makes sense now that I'm like talking out loud about it. I guess that seems low. That seems low. I felt like it would have been higher. But I guess that's usually my average rating is like a 3 of something if I liked it, but I didn't love it. So I guess that makes sense. Now I'm going to go through the actual books that I read and the rating. And I guess you guys want to know when I finished it. I guess I'll say that. And yeah, I'm not going to like talk in depth about all of them though. So the first one I read of the entire year was Behind the Net, the first in the Vancouver Storm series by Stephanie Archer. I gave it a 3.75, good start to the year. I finished it January 2nd, starting the year off right. Then I read The Fake Out, which is the second in the Vancouver Storm, also by Stephanie Archer. Also gave it a 3. Oh, I gave this one rude. Dumping a cooler right now. This one I gave a 3.5. I finished that January 4th. To be honest with you, I don't really remember what happened in the books, but now I'm like, this is fun because now I'm like, oh, I should go back and read the Vancouver Storm series because is there anything, like, is there a third book? I don't know. Now I can look at it because it's been like almost a year later. Next, I had Coach, which was the first in Treasure State Wildcats by Devney Perry. I gave this a 3 stars. I also finished it January 4th. Interesting. Cool. Probably my top book of the year, or at least one of them for sure, was next, which is Blindside. It's the second in the Red Zone Rival series by Kandi Steiner. I gave this book an easy 5 stars. I loved it. I still think about it. I probably will reread it in 2025. It's so good. I don't know why I loved it so much. Sometimes books just like hit like that, or shows or music or whatever, like where you don't really understand why, but it's just so good. And it's just like, yeah, that was really, really good for me. And this is one of them. I finished it January 8th. So like amazing start to my year, like banger, like literally I'm doing pretty good right now. And then I read the rest of the series. So The Quarterback Sneak was next in the Red Zone Rival series by Kandi Steiner, 3.75. I finished this one January 10th. Next is Hail Mary, same series, by Kandi Steiner, 4 stars, finished it January 12th. Next is Meet Your Match, Kings of the Ice, number 1 in the series, by Kandi Steiner. Clearly I like Kandi Steiner a lot. I gave it a 3.5. I finished that January 17th. Then Watch Your Mouth, which is Kings of the Ice, number 2, Kandi Steiner, 3 stars, finished it January 19th. I obviously am in like a sports romance. I feel like I read a lot of sports romances in 2024, like more than maybe ever. I don't know why. It was just like what I was craving, what I was wanting to read. So I just always am like an instinctual reader. I just read whatever I want. But it's kind of interesting to see like all of my January books so far have been sports. And we're continuing that theme with our next book being Beyond Score, the Real Score number 1 book, by Kate Olivia. I gave it 2 stars and I finished it January 31st. This was that series. I found it so randomly. I really don't even remember how I found it. Maybe TikTok. I really don't know. And like, I've not heard anyone ever talk about this series, and I kind of see why. It was like really weird. For reference, like the first book was 80 pages and the next book is 102 pages. Like they were all so short, and like they weren't necessarily bad. They were just like not enough. Like I wanted like 200 more pages of the story. But anyways, so I do remember that. And then, did I say the next one? Red Zone, the Real Score number 2 book, Kate Olivia, 2.5, finished it February 1st. Then Rough Game, same series, 3 stars, finished it February 1st. I guess I finished those both, but one's 100 pages and one's 85 pages, so that makes sense. Like, duh, I could finish it. Oh, I finished 3. Cool. Foul Play, also in the same series, gave it 1.5 stars, also finished it February 1st. Tight End, Enemies to Lovers, Off Limits, Sports, Off Limits Football Sports Romance. I guess that's the whole thing. That must be, it's user added, so they must have just like put that in wrong, but same series, 1 star, finished February 2nd. So that whole series of 5 books took me from January 31st to February 2nd to finish the whole thing. I feel like that's pretty crazy. Next was Enemies by Tijan. I gave it a 3.5 stars and I finished it February 6th. Next is First Down Beyond the Play, number 1 by Grace Reilly. Okay, I remember this now. Grace Reilly was in my top authors and I was like, what is that? Like, what did I read from her? I'm remembering now. I remember this series. I gave that a 3.75 and I finished that February 7th. Yeah, I like Grace Reilly's books. They're very cute. I need to go back. I don't know if that was the last book. I don't really remember if I read them all. I mean, I read all that was out, but like, you know, if there's like another one out now. So yeah, that's why I like doing this too, because like half the time it's so frustrating when you read a series and then not all the books are out, because then you have to like keep track of it and go back. And I feel like I read so many books and so many series and so many good series that I forget. Like I should keep a better list because I want to read it, but like this video helps me remember, because then I'm like, oh my gosh, Beyond the Play. Like I liked that series a lot. Like I should go back and see if she has more, because I think she was coming out with more, I want to say. Anyways, the second book in the series is Breakaway. I gave that 3.75 stars, and that was February 8th I finished it. Next is Unravel Me, the Playing for Keeps series. It's the 3rd in it by Becka Mack. I gave it 2 stars, and I finished it February 13th. Like, see, that's a perfect example. I remembered that I was reading that series, so then I went back, and it's just that one book. Fake-ish by Winter Renshaw. I gave it 1.5 stars, and I finished it February 13th. Okay, next we have Stealing Home Beyond the Play, the 3rd book by Grace Reilly. I gave this one 3 stars, and I finished it February 22nd. Next was The Home Run Proposal, Orleans University number 1 by Maren Moore. I gave this one a 3.75, and I finished it February 23rd. Again, this is another series that I think this was the only one book out. And I was like, I want more. I think they hinted at the other couple, if I'm remembering correctly. And I was like, I know that one's going to eat. And I need that book now, please. So, Maren Moore, if you're watching this, please and thank you. It might even be out by now. I don't even know. Next was Center Ice, the first in the Boston Rebel series by Julia Connors. Julia, hey. I gave it a 3-star rating, and I finished it February 27th. So this is crazy. Like, we're through so many books, and it's not even March yet. Like, clearly I read a ton, and clearly I always know that I read a ton in the winter, because like I'm not going out as much. It's like cozy vibes. I feel like it's still like a lot of sports, and my boyfriend wants to watch a lot of sports, so he watches sports while I read a lot and different things like that. But the summer, like, I want to be out. We're going out more. We're doing things. Like, I feel like I have less time, more people are around and like having fun, there's vacation, there's like a lot less time that I read. So like winter's for sure my heavy months. Next I have Sweet as Sin, which is the first in the Bad Habit series by J.T. Geissinger. I gave it 2 stars, and I finished it February 29th. I remember this now too, because these were rough. This was really rough. I wanted to read a like boy band music book, which are so hard to find, and if you guys have recs, please give me some, because like I'm desperate for them. They're like probably my favorite of all time, like genre, trope, whatever to read, and they're just like not around a lot, I fear. Anyways, the second in the series was Make Me Sin, and I gave this 1 star, and I finished it February 29th. Next was Autumn Nights by Willow Aster. I gave it 4 stars, and I finished it March 3rd. Funny, because then I went back and read the first book in that series. I did not realize there was a book before that. So that was Summertime. And I gave that a 3.5 stars and finished that March 5th. Then I kept on the Willow Aster train and did Unforgettable, which is the first in the Landmark Mountain series. I gave this as 2 stars. This was like very different to me for the first 2 books, and it's kind of like small town, which I haven't read enough small town romances to say I don't like small town romances, because I have read ones that I really like, but I don't think I necessarily like the small town aspect of it. I like other aspects of it, and they just happen to be in a small town. I think it neither deters nor excites me. Like, I'm not gonna read a book because it's a small town romance, but I'm also not gonna read one because of it. But like, this is a good example of it, of like, I don't know, the small town aspect in this book just really wasn't doing it for me. I don't know why, but I have that song that The Rock is in that's like, it's about drive, it's about power, you would stay hungry, we devour, put in the work, put in the hours, and take what's ours. I don't know why. I haven't heard that song in months. Maybe it's Conjuring, like I listened to it in March and it's just like coming to my brain now. Like when I read that book, I listened to it or something. I have no idea, but it's like stuck in my head right now and it keeps just saying that. So you guys need to hear that as well. Ooh, then we moved into a good series. We then read King of Wrath, which is the first in the King of Sin series by Anna Huang. I gave this a 3.75 stars and I finished this March 11th. I really liked this series. I know people love, I don't know what that series is called, like, her other series. I'm blanking on all the names right now. And I think I read one book in that series, but it wasn't the first book. It was like the second or third book. I don't know why. I think I didn't realize there were other books in it, and it was fine, and like I should go back and read that series, but like I really liked this series, and most people say they don't like this series as much as they like the other series, so then I'm like, maybe I wouldn't like that one as much, because like this one's the one I prefer more, but I should try it out still, because I really liked this series. Next is King of Pride, also by Anna Huang. I gave it 2.25 stars. I finished it March 13th. And then King of Greed, same series, 3.75 stars, finished it March 29th. And that one was, bruh, my brain is literally turning into mush. I could not think for the life of me of the trope of second chance romance. I was like, what is it when, I was like describing it in my head. I'm like, what is it when they already were in love and then they fall out of love and then they come back? That's what I just kept saying. And I was like, yeah. Friends to lovers? I'm like, no, like what? Like, second chance romance. That King of Greed is a second chance romance, and usually that's like one of my least favorite tropes, and they did it so well. It was beautiful. I ate it up. It was so good. I get it now. I mean, I don't get it. I think this was an exception to the rule, not the rule, but still. Then I went into some dark things. I mean, I know the King of Sin series was like not the lightest, fluffiest series, but then I went full dark with The Predator, which is the first in the Darkverse series by Runx. I gave this one a 3-star rating, and I finished it April 3rd. Also, fun fact, I think it was only King of Greed, and then a couple, I think some of the Darkverse series. I was in Europe when I was reading this, which is so cool. I remember distinctly reading King of Greed on the train, going from Barcelona to, no, that's a lie, going from Madrid to Barcelona, I believe. Yeah, which is just like a cool fact. Probably made me rank these maybe a bit higher. I don't know. And that's just, you're gonna have to deal with that. Anyways, next in the Darkverse series is The Reaper. I gave that a 3.75 and I finished that April 4th. Then we have The Emperor, which I also gave 4 stars and finished it April 5th. Then we have The Finisher, which I gave 3.75 stars and finished it April 7th. And then we have The Annihilator, which is the 5th book in the series, and I gave it 1 star. And I finished it April 8th. When I give something 1 star, it means that it is, I would never recommend it. I think it's, like, bad. Like, not just, like, I don't like it. Like, I think it's genuinely, like, not good for some reason. I know for this one, it's, like, super heavy on, like, a lot of trigger warnings and a lot of super sensitive topics that I don't really enjoy reading, and I think they can be done right, but they don't need to be shown a lot. And unfortunately, I feel like this one was just really bad, but I know other people like love this book, which, you know what, I'm never gonna like judge someone for reading. Like, I'm sure there's things that I read that no one else would read, so like I get it. And I know there is the 6th book that's like the collection of all the couples that has come out, but I think I'm gonna skip out on it just because I did not enjoy Annihilator like so much, and I just don't feel like it would be a book that I'm really gonna enjoy anymore, even though I really did love these other books. Like 4 stars, 3.75 like stars, 3 stars is my lowest ranking before that one, so like even though I really liked those books, I'm just not gonna do it. Then we went back to our classic sports romances of this year. I feel like that is encompassing my year of reading of 2024. Sports romances. But I got Unwritten Rules, which is the first in the Unwritten Rules series by Katie Casey, and I gave it 3 stars, and I finished it April 16th. And then we moved into the Megan Quinn of it all because I was reading baseball books for some reason. I think I was going to do a baseball book video, which I still might do. That's a good idea because I feel like there's not a lot of baseball books. It's like one of the sports romances that's like not talked about as much. So I'm probably going to do that in 2025, but I was doing research. So then I read The Locker Room, which is the first in the Brentwood Boys series by Megan Quinn. Gave that a 3.5 stars, finished it April 17th. I also have a whole video on this series, so if you want to go peruse that. I have a lot of videos on a lot of these series, so honestly just go back, look at my book videos playlist, and you can look at all the book videos I did in 2024, if you're so inclined. Thank you very much. Then we have The Dugout, same series by Megan Quinn, 2.5 stars, finished it April 18th. Then The Lineup, 2 stars, April 19th. The Trade, 2 stars, April 24th. The Change-Up, 2 stars, May 1st. The Setup, same series, 3.25 stars, May 2nd. The Strikeout, 2 stars, May 3rd. The Perfect Catch, 2 stars, May 8th. That was all the same series. So that's what I said, like, Megan Quinn made sense. She made it into my top authors because I read a lot of her books just in that one series. Alright. Next, we have Pretty Reckless, which is the first in the All Saints High series. I gave this one 3 stars, and I finished it May 17th. I wanted, like, dark again. I feel like this year I bounced between dark and sports. Like, that's what I did. I just kept doing that. Like, either I'm reading a sports romance or I'm reading a dark romance, and there's, like, no in between. Then we have Broken Night, same series by LJ Shen. I don't think I said that. 1.5 stars, finished it May 19th. Angry God, All Saints High, number 3, LJ Shen, 1.5 stars, finished it May 23rd. Damaged Goods, the 4th in the series, 3 stars, finished it May 30th. I have to sneeze. Now we're getting into my family vacation, so again, a fun vacation, probably ranking these a bit higher, but you do with that what you will. The first I read on vacation was Reality Check, Making the Best of the Situation by Mike Sorrentino, or Mike the Situation from Jersey Shore. My sister and I are big Jersey Shore fans, and she got the physical book of this, so this is one of my physical books of the year, and yeah, it was pretty good. I gave it, like I said, 3.5 stars, and I finished it May 30th. Then my only other one I literally read on this vacation, so pretty crazy, was Falling for Gage, the 3rd in the Pelion Lake series by Mia Sheridan, and I gave it 3 stars, and I finished it June 26th. Okay, so I guess that was on vacation, lol. I think I started on vacation, but I didn't end it. I did not realize it was the 3rd in the series. I thought it was just random. I got it at a half-price books store, and I didn't realize there was 2 books before it, and then I did realize when I was reading, because I was like, they keep referencing these couples, and they're already together, and then I was like, oh, that means that this is in a series, and I didn't read it. And I picked it up because she wrote Archer's Voice, and I love that book, so I was like, oh, I'll read another one, and I did really like it. So yeah. Then we're getting into real good stuff. Then we read Off the Grid Full Throttle number 1 by Kay Bromberg. Another 5 stars. Wow! Loved it. Loved it. It's an F1 series, and it's so good. I literally love it too. I'm also still thinking about this book. So good. I finished that July 20th. Then we read Happy Place by Emily Henry. I gave it a 3.75, and I finished it July 27th. Then back to the Full Throttle series with On the Edge by Kate Bromberg, and I gave it a 3.75. I finished it July 29th. And then I moved to, okay, so this was Olympics time now. I'm like seeing what happened of like, what book do I want to read next? So this was Olympics time now. So into the Summer Olympics, I was like, I need there must be romance novels based around the Olympics. You would be shocked how few there are. Like, criminally, there's so few. Like, that's such a cool event, and I feel like such a cool event to make a series around, and then you can promote it when that time comes around. I mean, I guess it's only every 4 years, but you could also do, like, you can also promote it when it's, like, the Winter Olympics, or vice versa. I just think it's so cool. So I tried to find one. This first one, did disappoint. It is Settling the Score, The Summer Games #1 by R.S. Gray. Gave it 1 star, which you guys know what that means, and that I finished that August 5th. But then we redeemed and found a really great book that I had not heard of ever, or no one talk about her ever, and it is Starting Line by Becka Mack. I love this book. I gave it a 4 stars, but like I still think about things in this book, so like honestly I should probably reread it and I would give it a higher rating now. I don't know. I love this book. I finished it August 7th. Now back to the Full Throttle. I read Over the Limit, which is the 3rd book in Full Throttle by Kate Bromberg. I gave this one a 3 stars, and I finished it August 13th. Again, if you want more in-depth things on that, I also did a video on the Full Throttle series, so go read that. Go read that. Well, go read the series, but go watch my video too. I swear, I like didn't get a lot of sleep last night, and I feel like it's really showing. I'm making perfect sense in my brain, but my brain and my mouth cannot keep up with each other. And then I'm like, go read the video and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, girl. And if I was a better YouTuber, I might restart the sentence so that all my sentences make sense. Well, not a better YouTuber, just a different YouTuber. But I'm not going to do that because I like keeping it real with you guys. Anyways. The next book I read was The Wrong Mr. Right. It's the 2nd in the Queen's Cove series. No, I didn't read the first, by Stephanie Archer, and I gave it 3.75 stars, and I finished it August 14th. That one was very cute. I did like it. It was a surfing one, which I love when it's like books that aren't, like sports romances that aren't the obvious sports, aka football or hockey. Fun. I want to know more about surfing. That sounds great. Please give me books about surfing. Like, that's so fun. Then going back to a series that I think I started in 2023, maybe even before that. Broken Boys Can't Love. It's the boys' 5th book by Michaela Smeltzer. I gave it a 2.75 and I finished it August 19th. And then of the same series, Rule Breakers Fall Hardest, which was my only book, over 500 pages. And I gave it a 2.5 stars and I finished it August 21st. Next, we had kind of a fun book because I signed up for NetGalley, which, if you don't know, is like you can get ARCs or advanced reader copies of certain books. You can like apply for it, like you make a profile, and obviously I do book reviews, and I was like, maybe I should apply. Maybe I could get some ARCs. That'd be super freaking cool if I could get free books that I would read and enjoy. That's like earth-shattering. That's so cool. So I was like, I definitely want to do that. And I like put my, I don't know, like bid in. I don't even know. I applied, I guess, probably a better word. See, again, I'm tired, guys. I'm sorry. For a couple of books, and this was the first one I got. So this was officially the first book that I got an advanced reader copy of, which I'm so appreciative and is so nice and special to me. That being said, I didn't love the book, but I still love and appreciate everyone who helped me get this. So it was The Rebound Play, the first in the Love on Thin Ice series by Kate O'Keefe, and I gave it 1 star, and I finished it August 26th, sorry. Then we went back to the Full Throttle series with the 4th book, Out of Control, and I gave this a 3.75 and finished it September 9th. And then we're going to skip a couple of these books. I'm sorry. I know I dropped a hint already, kind of them, because I want to do a whole really big video I'm doing, and it's about these books and something else. And I kind of still want to keep it secret. Again, I dropped a hint in this, so if you want to find the Easter egg, you can go and find the Easter egg, but I'm not going to talk about them really. Then we have Hard to Handle, the first in the Play Hard series by Kate Bromberg. Again, back to Kate Bromberg. We love her. I gave this 3 stars, and I finished it October 27th. And then we have Hard to Hold, same series, 3.75, finished it October 30th. Another book I can't talk about. Hard to Score, third in the Play Hard series, 3.5 stars, finished it November 11th. Hard to Lose, same series, 3.75 stars, finished it November 12th. And then the last of the series, Hard to Love, 3 stars, November 13th is when I finished it. Another book I can't talk about. And then another ARC that I got, so nice. This one was so good. I loved it so much. It was so fun, and I should read some of her other books because she has other books that are out. This will come out in 2025, so I can't really like talk about it much, but it is The Romance Rivalry by Susan Lee. I gave it 3.75 stars and I finished it November 29th. Highly recommend. It was super cute. It was super fun. I literally didn't put it down. I think I read it in one sitting completely, and I just really liked it, like I said. Then we have gone into the last series that I've read in 2024, which is crazy, which is the Boston Underworld series, which is a mafia romance, as I said before. So we have the first book, Crow, which I gave 3.75 stars, and I finished that December 3rd. Then Reaper, 2.5 stars, December 5th. Ghost, 1.25 stars, December 12th. Saint, 3 stars, December 22nd. And then Thief is the last book with 1.75 stars, and I finished it December 28th. There's one more in that series, but Connor, that's what it's called. I don't know if I'm going to get to it. I have it like ready, like I can read it now. I might get through some of it, but I don't know if I'm going to finish it by 2024. So it might be 78 books in total that I end up reading for 2024, but we'll call it 77 and I'm okay with that. But that is all the books I read. I made 12 videos about books, not including this one, so I guess 13 in 2024. I have a couple on series. I have one on the Play Hard series. I have one on the Full Throttle series. I have one on the Brentwood Boys series and one on the Darkverse series. And then I have one for like football romances. Those are like my recs. And then I have other ones that are just relating to books, like wrap-ups, or, oh, I have another one that's college romance recs. I also have ones that's like my playlist as book recommendations with like Sabrina Carpenter and Chapel Roan and Renee Rapp and Olivia Rodrigo and things like that. I answered like book-ish questions with like manifesting a collab with Steph Bohr and Larry. And yeah, and then technically my books of 2023 came out in 2024, so LOL. But I feel like I had a great year of reading. I read so many good books. I had a great year of YouTube. I was more consistent than I think I've ever been in my YouTube career. I've reached new milestones, which I'm so proud of more subscribers than ever, more people commenting. Like I said, being more consistent just myself. I really appreciate every single one of you, no matter how many videos you watch. If you watch the vlogs and you don't watch the book videos, or if you watch the book videos but you don't watch the vlogs, or if you watch a little bit of both, or if you watch just one here and there, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I feel like this is such a fun hobby for me, and obviously I would be lying if I didn't say like I would want some like, I didn't have aspirations of like dream of being a full-time YouTuber and like being able to support myself off of this love and this craft that I've created for myself. But I'm still just so thankful for every single person who watches, because it's crazy to me to look at some of my videos have like 500 views or something, and I'm like, that's crazy. Like, people click on that and watch videos of books I'm recommending, or watch a vlog of like things that are happening in my life and wanting to hear my takes on things, and like it's so interesting and appreciated, and I'm just so thankful. And I had an amazing 2024, and hopefully let's have an even better 2025, and I'm so thankful for you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video in the next year. So thank you for watching this video. You are beautiful, kind, sweet, talented, emotional in a good way, brave, and strong. And thank you for spending 2024 with me, and I can't wait for 2025 with you. See you in the next one.